Kadash, want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, and Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, honors to all the brothers in the truth. This is called She Dances with the Devil. Kind of like a catchy title that came to my head, but it was very spiritual. You know what I mean? Just speaking of, what would be the exact opposite of a virtuous woman. A woman that dances with the devil, and that's twofold because Esau's known as the devil too. And that's what a lot of our women deal with. We was talking about this, me and Cornal, the brother Cornal, we was talking about this and we was like, look, even when it comes to the households, it kind of some of the traits of the modern day household go back to slavery, because what does the woman do? The woman try to get with men that they could control. You know what I mean? Women are told to be independent or to be proud, and men are told not to be proud, but women are told to have pride. You see what I'm saying? And when they get in a relationship, they kind of want to control their men. If a lot of times these women, and I know from family members too, they can't handle being in a relationship with a man that's actually going to be like assertive, a man that's actually going to like be the head of the household and wear the pants. They all say they want that, but they can't really handle that because the women don't like order. They don't like correction. You see what I'm saying? Because of their feelings, These modern day women, at least, you know what I mean? So instead, what do? They dance with the devil. So even when you get in a relationship with them, if you talk to them a certain way, if you treat them a certain way, if you correct them a certain way, they get in their feelings about it. And what they really want to do is go out there and get simps, man that they could control, man that they can have power over. And it all leads back to really their true man and their true head being Esau. Because all of their ways, you know, come from who? Trace it back. They celebrate Christmas, right? Uh, they celebrate Valentine's Day. They celebrate things like Easter and shit like that. Who does that go back to? They say, "Well, I learned this from my granny, or I learned this from generations. This is how I was raised." But what that way of learning, that way of living, where do it all come back from? It comes back to Esau. You see what I'm saying? If you do something and things get too crazy in the household, guess who she's gonna call on you? She's gonna call Esau. When y'all break up, guess who she's gonna go to collect money and make you pay? Esau. She's always gonna run back to Esau. So especially today, especially the Judite woman, but all Israel women, because I mean I'm so sick of J Lo. I'm so sick of her, man. With these white boys, man, with these goddamn Edomites. I'm so sick of her, man. She needs to give it up, you know what I mean? Then she gonna come out with a new movie and she in the movie pointing at an Edomite talking about I marry you. Like, you know what that does for a lot of Latino young girls that look up to J Lo and want to be like J Lo and want to come to the States, and they think they need to be just like J Lo and they need to go get an Edomite to be accepted on a certain level. I'm so sick of her, man. So it's not just the Judite woman, but it's all the Israelite women, the wicked ones, not the elect, not the virtuous woman, not the woman that actually gonna be saved by the Lord, but the wicked ones. What they're doing is, and what's making them even more wicked is that they're dancing with the enemy. They're dancing with Esau. They're following Esau. Esau is their man. Esau is their leader. Even if they don't know it, even if they is with a J. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to allow him to sit on that throne and be the man he's supposed to be the head of a household. Look up what husband, the word husband, what it breaks down to. The word husband breaks down to head of household, to be the head of something, meaning the master of something. So if you're a wife, the definition of wife mean a woman that has a husband, a woman that's married. So if you're a woman that's married that has a husband, then the only way you could be a wife is if you have a husband, and a husband meaning the head of a household. So if you put it together, Dr. Seuss, the only way you could be a wife is if you have a master of the house, which is that's what a husband mean. So women don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even understand that when they sitting around. I want a husband. I want to get married. No, you don't want a husband, because you say you want a husband. It's the same thing as saying I want a head of the house or I want a master of the house. It's the same exact thing. So they want to go out there and they get these simps. And a lot of time they like men that's just getting out of jail. Why? Because those men are most vulnerable. You know what I mean? They're gonna allow you to do whatever because they already coming out of, a messed up situation. So they're gonna allow you to do whatever in a relationship. They're not gonna really question you because they don't want to lose you. They're gonna be happy just to be out on the outside and have you. A lot of times they gotta rely on you for shelter, food, water, and all that until they can get on their feet. So a lot of women love the man that's just coming out of prison, or they like men that they could just control. You know what I mean? They love men that's in the streets, gang banging and drug dealing, because those men they don't really have a presence at the house because they're more focused on being in the streets all day. So at the household, she can run things. They like to put power in a woman's hand just in case they don't make it. So that's why you see a lot of beautiful women that could easily choose a whole different lifestyle, a whole different type of man. They choose those type of guys. You see what I'm saying? Their life could be totally different, but what happens? They end up with 2, 3 kids, and their baby daddy ends up either dead or in jail. Now they left with 2, 3 kids that they got to raise on their own. You see what I'm saying? Which a lot of those women, if you ask them, was it worth it? They would say no. They should have chose different. And then that goes to tell you that our women don't know how to choose them. They don't know how to choose them. You know what I mean? But then farther down the line, that gets you to some shit like this, what you're seeing on your screen, which this is complete wickedness. Now I've seen this because I've seen the the spirit of the Most High out there, kind of pushing out there, man, having multiple wives. So now whenever you're on social media, you will see like a lot of pictures and posts about man having multiple wives, and it be 2 women and a man and stuff like that, and it be Jake. You starting to see that a lot more. You hearing the Kevin Samuels, man, don't cheat. They just exercise their options. You starting to hear and see those things. But now the women are kind of coming back like, well, I don't see why a woman can't have 2 husbands. Well, we gonna briefly touch on why that's not, because I mean, cats out the bag. It's adultery. That's why. It's wicked. We're not the same, and we shouldn't be treated as the same, because when it comes down to it, you don't really want to be treated the same. You want the same privileges, but you don't want to be treated the same as a man. You see what I'm saying? That's why when Jacob's trouble come in, women are going to be humble. They're going to be taken off that pedestal, and then that's when you get Isaiah 4:1. 7 women should take hold of 1 man. So this is just it's unclean. You got 2 man seed going into her. Everybody know by now, scientifically, they say when you have sex with a woman, it's like a bonding process. When you release sperm into her, your genes or whatever, your print is upon her, and she bonds to you. So now she got 2 men that she having sex with, bonding to both of them. You know what I mean? She get pregnant. We don't know exactly which one actually, dealt the finishing blow. Scored the touchdown. We don't know. Now they got to go get a test and stuff like that. And then what if she has a boy? Now the boy has to look up to his fathers as sharing 1 woman. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just complete blasphemy. Complete blasphemy. You know what I mean? Men have like an ego type of thing, like a territorial type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just complete wickedness. So we gonna go into it. She dances with the devil. This is Leviticus Chapter 25, verse 12. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. And see, that's what it really goes back to. I always like to say, and I've been saying this a lot lately to brothers in different situations, you must always consider the Lord in every situation you get into. No matter what it is, always consider the Lord and try to remember the law, statutes, commandments, and reverence to the Lord, to give you understanding and wisdom in the situations that you're getting into. And that's the beginning of his love. And I mean, that's what the fear of the Lord is. What? Keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. Following his way. Following what he said, right? So what did he say about this? He said it is wicked. Here, let me prove that, since I keep saying that, because I said I'm going to touch on it briefly. This is Leviticus Chapter. I just had it. Leviticus Chapter 20, just to break it down, Leviticus Chapter 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife. So if she's the wife to both of these men, she's causing both of them to commit adultery in a way. Or whoever the second one was is committing adultery with another man's wife, Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and adulteress should surely be put to death. So they both will be put to death. You know what I mean? It says, and then it goes on to just keep going through the law. But it's telling you that adultery is a very. But what did it say? So let's break it down, because some women that say adultery is a man having multiple wives too. No, it's not. So we're gonna read it again. It says a man that committeth adultery with another man's wife. That's adultery. So if you got a wife and there's a single woman out there and you go take her to be another wife, that's not adultery. It's only adultery if a man sleeps with another man's wife. Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor wife. But check this out. The adulterer and the adulteress should surely be put to death. It's adultery for the woman too. If she has a husband and she lays with another man, that's adultery. You see what I'm saying? So this is not the fear of the Lord. This is not following the Lord, what you're seeing on your screen. This is complete wickedness. You know what I mean? It's pushing that wickedness out there. You know, because like I said, if a man lays with another man's wife, which one of these guys is doing that, right? That's adultery. And the woman's she is also guilty of adultery too. Now back in Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, verse 25, chapter 25, verse 12. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of love, and faith is the beginning of cleaving into him, right? And you got to have faith, and you got to have works with your faith. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. You see what I'm saying? It all goes back to the time of Adam and Eve. You know, women could be very strong, very beautiful, but then at the same time, it could be the most wickedness thing on earth. You know, you heard the saying, well, R. Kelly made a song called When a Woman's Fed Up. And you see what the woman did to him. They got him the fuck up out of here. You see what I'm saying? And what he was doing, technically, biblically, he wasn't in the wrong with anything he was doing. You know what I mean? Biblically. But they got him out of there because why? Just like I open up this video saying, they are following the ways of Esau. They are dancing with the devil. That's why I named this She Dances with the Devil. You see what I'm saying? It says, instead of saying open the Bible up and say, look, R. Kelly isn't doing anything wrong. It says that, you know, man was getting young maidens. Young maiden could be 12, 14 years old. Mary was probably around the age 12, 14 years old, and Joseph probably was in his late 30s or mid 30s. They not looking in the Bible say that. They not looking in the Bible say, look, he can have multiple wives. They just saying they going off with Esau, the philosophies of Esau. That's their true husband. And he's known as the border of wickedness, the wicked in Malachi chapter 1. And if she's going right along with him, then boom, there you go. I mean, Esau, anytime you get a big type of business, he got a big company, you know what I mean, that he running, who he gonna go get to be the manager? He gonna go get a black woman. You see what I'm saying? Because that black woman is going to exert dominance and then who's going to be like the janitors and the lower workers and shit? It's going to be the black man. And he's going to put the black woman over the black man because he know he can control that black woman, and in return controlling that black woman and giving her power over the black man, he could control everything. You see what I'm saying? He know that he got her. She going to be loyal to him because she's going to follow his ways. Because a woman naturally supposed to follow a man's ways, but they supposed to be following, the Israelite woman supposed to be following the ways of the Israelite man, which is supposed to be the ways of the Lord. Now it says, in any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies. There is no head above the head of the serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of the enemy. I rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. You know, because it's hard because you love her. But she's going to go out there and do things wicked, you know. Fuck up your life. Fuck up the car. Fuck up your money. You know, do things with your kids. You don't move a certain type of way. You don't want her moving. You know, you're going to be constantly drinking, worrying about her. You know, you focus on doing this, focus on the Lord, focus on the work, but then you got to take time off from that because you got to worry about what she's doing. You know, that's very hard. That's a very hard thing when somebody's that close to you, you know. It says, her husband should sit among the neighbors, and when he heareth it, he shall sigh bitterly. You know, so when you go around your guys, when you go around the other brothers, you know what I mean, you going to kind of damn, man, my girl, like, man, she be tripping, bro. Like, shit ain't good for me right now. I'm going through it. Brothers could see it on your countenance. Brothers could see. You could come up to camp. You could come around the brothers. They could just see on your face, like, yeah, he having a hard time at home. You could tell, which is the exact opposite from Proverbs 31, a virtuous woman. You know, you should speak goodly of her, pretty much roughly paraphrasing, amongst the neighbors and amongst the gates and stuff like that. Because, you know, when a brother got a virtuous wife at home, he comes around, you could see that on his face. The brother kind of shining. You know what I mean? She had his clothes ready for him to get in the shower. She had his plate ready. She gave him the plate first before everybody else in the house. She treated him like a king. You know what I mean? She's doing the work. She's doing the laundry. She's washing the dishes. You know what I mean? When he come around, he gonna be happy. You know what I mean? So you can kind of see it. It says 19, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. It says all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Oh yeah, that was the other title. When a woman, well, R. Kelly said when a woman's fed up, but a woman's scorn or something like that. It says, let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Cause soon as y'all get into it, y'all break up or you just be done with her. What she wanna do? She can't just walk away. She wanna go ruin your life. She wanna fuck up your car, key it, slash your tires, throw a brick through your window. She want to put you on child support and take everything. Look what the producer Dr. Dre went through. He had to pay his woman, I believe, like 20 million or something like that. Either 20, yeah, I think he had to pay her. He got to pay her. No, I think it's 100 million. I think he had to pay her 50 million up front. Had to pay her another 50 million or something like that. He had it like she don't even need that much, but she gonna take it if she could. She would probably take all of it. He had a prenup. And that's the crazy thing about it, you know? And then she started trying to put allegations out there. Stuff that she's been knowing about for 20 years that he's been dealing with other women. 20, 30 years. But now since she's trying to grab the money, now she's trying to bring it up. Like, you've been dealing with it for all these years. But we know why you bringing it up now. Because now you want to leave him. And now you want to take that money, you know? And try to destroy him, you know? It says, and who helps them do that? Who helps them do? Esau helps them do that. The court systems help them. They run straight. They can't do it themselves. Just like take Dr. Dre. She couldn't get a penny from Dr. Dre herself. But what she could do is she could hire those lawyers and she could go to the court system, and we know the system and who that system was built by and who that system is ruled and controlled by. It all goes back to Esau. You know, it says, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the age, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. You know, just full of words, talking. You can't tell her nothing. Every time you're trying to explain something to her, she wants to go into how she feels. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire not her for pleasure, right? Because you can't be overtook by here I got a precept for it too. You can't just be overtook by that beauty, you know what I mean? And that's what happened to a lot of men. And see, remember the example I was giving about brothers just getting out of jail? That's who the women go for. Man, they be having things where I don't really know exactly how it is, but these women could contact these men while they're locked up. The women could contact them and write them and message them and go back and forth and actually start a relationship and put money on their books before they even get out. Why do you think those women are doing that? Those women are doing that because they know these men are going to be weak when they get out. They're going to stumble at her beauty. They're going to desire her for pleasure because, you know, in a lot of the cases, it's been so long since they had that pleasure for a woman if they were in jail. So when they get out, they're going to be weak and open, and that she could use that to gain power and control him. You know, Proverbs 6, which is saying the same thing, verse 25, lust not after her beauty in thy heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. You know what I mean? The way they talk, the way they move, they are, you know, her beauty, she kind of tries to put it on you. You know, you become an experienced man, and I'm a young man, but I started very, very early from the streets we come from. You know, we started very, very early. A lot of things, you know what I mean? By the age of 20, it's like you wasn't supposed to make it that far. You know where I come from. You know, so yeah, I've been through a lot. So you kind of gain that experience. You know, you could go to a club, you could go to a party, or you could just be around beautiful women, and you're not so thirsty over just their beauty. You're not just, you know, your mouth wide open, your tongue rolling down. You know what I mean? You dripping spit out your mouth because you lusting at her beauty. You could kind of look past it. You could actually sit down and look past that beauty and have a conversation. And you could walk away from the plate, no matter how beautiful she is. That's when you know you got experience. Now, back in Ecclesiasticus 25, verse 22, a woman, if she maintain her husband is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach, right? Because that's a reproachful thing, a disgraceful thing. It says, a wicked woman abideth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance, and wounded heart, right? Like we were saying, you could see it on brothers, that heavy countenance. It says, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Like, damn, I'm doing all this, and she won't even comfort me when I'm going down. In reality, a lot of these women kick you when you go down. When you get broke, she gonna leave you. It just wasn't working. He just wasn't ambitious enough. He just wasn't giving me what I needed. I had to move on. Kind of kick you when you down. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, going back to Adam and Eve, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And that'd be another problem. A lot of men want to please their women, so they give them a lot of liberty. And it seemed like, that's just regular stuff, letting her go out to the bars with her friends and stuff. That's just regular girl stuff, you know what I mean? But really, in reality, it's too much liberty because they don't know how to handle it. They get out there, they get drinks in them. All it takes is the right guy to come in there, the right guy to right night, and it's going to cause her to commit adultery. You know what I mean? It's going to cause her to flirt because that girls want to please everybody. So she wants to be cool. She's going to go in there. She's going to be flirty, but it's like playing with fire. While she's flirting with this dude, he's putting it on her. He's putting tricks on her, might slip something in her drink or might just get her too much drink. And then next thing you know, you wake up in the morning, you committed adultery on your husband and now he's finna leave you for good. Don't give her that much liberty, man. You put money in her, you buying her all the fancy, good looking things. She got a car, you letting her go here, go here. She going to her friend's house, she getting into all different type of things. Too much liberty is a bad thing, It says, if she go not as thou wouldst have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. And that's not going off, because I know a brother, he was kind of quoting what Yahushua said, but this goes along with Yahushua because Yahushua set us up for adultery, right? Which wraps up into that. Let me see if I can find that what Yahushua said. He said you pretty much just roughly paraphrase, you can't cut her off except for adultery or fornication. Fornication goes back to the law. You can fornicate against the law. You know what I mean? So the law is for a woman to submit to her husband. That's the law. It's for her to be submissive, to submit and follow. And this it's an order. The father is over the father. Yahweh is over Yahushua. Yahushua is over man. Man is over the woman. Because going back to 1 Corinthians 11, the woman was created for the man. So this still goes right along with the law. If she goes not as you would have her, then she's not following the law. She's not following the order. She's fornicating. You see what I'm saying? So it all goes together. She's committing adultery spiritually. Because what's spiritual adultery against the Lord? Not following his law, statutes, commandments, and worshiping the other gods and false gods. But you got to remember, worshiping false gods is a law. It's a law against that. Do not worship, false gods, So you will actually be worshiping false gods and sinning against a commandment, which all leads back to adultery against the Lord. So if she goes not the way you would have her, which is the way she's supposed to go, then she is in adultery against the Lord. She is in fornicating against the law. It says, cut her. So I'm going to jump down to Ecclesiasticus 26 and get a couple. Right here. Verse 5. It says, there be three things that my heart feareth, and for the fourth I was so afraid. A slander of a city, right? He said three things. A gathering together of an unruly multitude, which we're seeing, and a false accusation, which happened to the Lord himself. It says all these are worse than death. It says, but the grief of the heart and sorrow is of a woman that is jealous over another woman, and scourge of a tongue with communication with all. An evil wife is a yoke shaking to and fro. Right? Yeah, she's shaking to and fro. She here, she there. She's thrown here and there, which gets her in situations. It's like dancing with the devil. It says, "He that has hold of her is as though he held a scorpion," because she's just gonna be a pain in your life, and the Lord gonna judge her, and you're connected to her, so you're gonna feel that pain. Everything that the Lord's gonna put her through, it's gonna come. Really, it's gonna affect you in a certain type of way, unless you just get rid of her. That's what verse 26 in Ecclesiastes 25 is. Because she's gonna be doing wicked things, getting herself in different situations that's gonna lead to her demise. But you love her. You have a connection to her, so it's gonna hurt you in a way too. You know what I mean? That says, a jealous woman over a woman that is jealous over another woman. That goes back to multiple wives. We can have multiple wives, but a lot of women can't get down with it because they become jealous over another woman. The other woman that your wife, they always comparing themselves to her. That's being jealous over another woman. You see what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be jealous, and it goes for the woman. You're not supposed to envy. You're not supposed to covet. You're not supposed to hate. You know what I mean? So you constantly comparing yourself. It tells us not to compare ourselves. It goes for the woman too. So that's you showing envy. If I take another wife, that's you showing envy towards her. That's you comparing yourself, showing hate. You know what I mean? Rather than showing love and accepting. So that's how it go. And there's precepts like Deuteronomy 21. If a man takes another wife, so it's in the law that we could take multiple wives. In Exodus 21, it says, verse 8, "A drunken woman is a gadder abroad cause of great anger, and she will not cover her own shame." A lot of these, what do women like to do? What is the saying today? City girls. That's what they like to do. They like to go out in the city, go to your local bar, go to your bar downtown, drink. Go to another bar, drink more. Go to this bar, drink more. Sleep with this guy. They do drugs. Sleep with this guy. Sleep with this guy the next day. Sleep with this guy the next week. You seen the movie or the show Sex in the City? What were they doing in Sex in the City? They were city girls. They were just having a lot of sex, and that's that Edomite way of living. That's what those Edomite women do. When you go down to the bar, you see them Edomite women. And man, I done literally seen this myself. This is all facts, true story. I done been down the bars and seen Edomite woman, and we sitting in the bar, and this particular Edomite woman is 7 dudes in here. Just this random night, is 7 dudes in here that she done had sex with. Her ex. Yeah, he's my ex. Yeah, that guy my ex. Yeah, I used to deal with him back then. 7, 8 dudes in the same bar, in the same place, same location at the same time that she done had sex with. And unfortunately, our Israelite women follow that same type of way too. It says, verse 9, "The whoredom, see, of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids." You could tell a woman, if she looked like the rapper Big Lotto, Corey LeRae, City Girls, Meg The Stallion, Nicki Minaj, that if you see her out and she looking like that, she's showing all that, that this woman is most likely having sex with a lot of men. You know what I mean? And pretty much she's a prostitute. Pretty much it's gonna be all about the money. Even if she say, "Give me $250, give me $300," or maybe she might just say, "But if I mess with you, you got to take me out. You got to get me a Birkin bag. You got to get me some red bottoms." It's the same thing. You know what I mean? It says, "If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through over much liberty." So really, the fathers is supposed to be keeping a cap on their daughters. You know what I mean? But a lot of times that don't happen because, like I said, going back to the man, they end up getting in prison. The different curses that was on us. But you're not supposed to give them much liberty. But today they tell you raise your daughter. It'd be funny. They'd be like, "Oh, look, she control her daddy," and everybody start laughing. That's not how it's supposed to be. That shit not funny. Let that girl do this, let that girl do that. You know what I mean? So it's like they kind of shame a man that's trying to follow the ways of the Lord. It says, "Watch over a prudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee." Because 9 times out of 10, the truth is your woman gonna trespass against you. She's gonna betray you. And that's just the truth. So marvel not. You might as well already expect it, because the wickedness of a woman. "She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when she have found the fountain and drink of every water near her. by every hedge she shall sit down, meaning she gonna sleep. And open her quiver against every arrow, meaning she gonna open her legs against every penis, man. She's gonna be ready to have sex because she's a hardish woman. You ever seen a woman at a bar? You know what I mean? And just see how they act, you know. Any dude could come up and get them a drink. They gonna open their mouth like a thirsty traveler. Yeah, give me a drink. Yeah, oh yeah, I'll take a drink. And that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. A drink and a little conversation, and that leads to another thing. Because they so thirsty that they don't understand that they dancing with the devil. They don't understand that they playing with fire. So they think they got control over the situation, and then they end up getting swindled and never having control of the situation. Then they wake up in the morning like, oh shit, that really happened. How many movies you done seen where they wake up and they look at each other and be like, wait, did we do that last night? Wait, did we do it last night? Or they wake up in the bed with a stranger and they be like, what the fuck happened last night? That's how these women are, man, because they too thirsty and they play with that fire. And you know the same, when you play a fire, you get burnt. It says, the grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will flatten his bones. So you supposed to be discreet. You know what I mean? You supposed to be mysterious. When I used to go to one of my friends' house growing up, they was a Muslim family. We used to always play basketball. So sometimes we'd play basketball in front of our house. He had a hoop too. So sometimes we go to his house and play basketball. His mother, they was a Muslim family. So every single time we'd come to his house, his mother would be doing things outside, be around the house. But as soon as we get to the driveway, she'd take off in the house. And she'd have her hair wrapped. You can't see her face and stuff like that. And I always used to wonder why that was, but I never took offense for it. I actually, I was like, okay, I feel it. Yep, that's right. Because what is she finna stand around all these boys for? And they allowed us to come over there and play basketball. So I'm not going to just say, well, we know all the other nations feel a certain type of way against Israel, and they all play a part together against Israel or demise. But that's just how they are. That's their law. That's how they move. You see what I'm saying? That's called discretion. That's why they wearing those head things, and you can't really see their hair or anything. They're being discreet. Which is our women could learn a lot from that, rather than the shit that you see on your screen and trying to make it and justify it and make it acceptable in society, and it's really never gonna be acceptable because it's wickedness. So let's jump to Proverbs chapter 25, verse 24, straight to the point. It is better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. You know what I mean? Because you just gonna feel that pain. You know what I mean? She's gonna nag. She's always gonna go off her feelings. She's not gonna want to do anything. You constantly gonna be arguing with her. You constantly gonna be in strife. Things are gonna be going wrong. You're constantly gonna be having to fix things behind her and take things behind her. And then you can't teach her. You can't correct her because she's always babbling at the mouth. So she can't learn. She's a brawling woman. What's one of the masculine traits? A contentious woman. You know what I mean? Rather than being a cooperating woman, they're very contentious. Everything you say, they got a butt, this and that, because they want to have that control. You give them an inch, they want to take a whole mile until they pretty much, they made you a slave. You see what I'm saying? This is 1 Timothy chapter 2. Let me get to it. I ended off right here. This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14. It says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. And that goes, I'll jump up a couple verses just to break it down, because it goes back to Ecclesiasticus 25, where it says, through the woman became sin. I'll just start from verse 10. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 10. But which becometh woman professing godliness and good works, right? Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Did it say some subjection? It said all subjection. Let her learn in silence. Not be very contentious and brawling woman. You know what I mean? It says, but I suffer not a woman to teach. Don't try to teach your man and you ain't got authority. It says, nor to assert authority over a man, but to be in silence. You got authority over him in the household. You kind of running stuff. You kind of making the shots. He can't tell you nothing. You can't learn or listen because you're too busy arguing and telling him how you feel. You know what I mean? It says, for Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. So the Bible and the prophets of the Bible and the Lord blame sin coming into the world on the woman. Not even on Adam, even though Adam was punished because he did go off too because of his woman, but sin entered the world through the woman. It says, notwithstanding, she shall be saved by childbearing. That's what you here for, man. Childbearing. You could be saved, especially in the end days, by childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. And let me get another one just to go off of that, because it says, notwithstanding, right, she should be saved by childbearing, right? And then that's why this is a future prophecy that's going to be big in these end times, and you're starting to see it push. And what you're seeing on your screen is just like a reaction and a response to the true way of the Lord, multiple wives being pushed. Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women should take hold of one man. Why? So they could be saved for childbearing, like it just said in First Timothy, in First Timothy chapter 2. It says, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name. To be called by a man's name is to be his woman, is to be his wife, which means he's going to pop you. To take away our reproach. And what's the reproach of a woman? Not being married and not having children. So they're going to be 7 women are going to take hold of one man. He's going to have multiple wives just so they could be his wife, right? And just so they could have his children and take away his reproach and take away their reproach and take away their disgrace so they could be saved by the Lord. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the other way around, because the other way around is wickedness. So this has been She Dances with the Devil. With that, I want to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.